Welcome to the new series called Unexplained, where I go through unexplained photos and videos and try and explain the photos with the best of my abilities and with my own opinions. Today, I'm going to cover two photos and see what are the unexplained elements of the photo and try to make a guess of what could have the elements led to. The first one I want to cover is the Grand Canyon Mystery Man. For my guess, this photo was probably taken in around the 1970s through the 1980s due to the quality of the camera. This photo may seem normal to a person's perspective, but if you look closely, you can see that there's a black hooded man hiding in the bushes. The story is that the two guys went on a trip to the Grand Canyon, and that once they started to explore more around the Grand Canyon, the photographer decided to take a photo of the man on the cliff and then went on more onto the Grand Canyon. As in for the black hooded man, no one knows for sure why he was there and why was he hiding in the bushes. Some say that this guy was going to push off the man off the cliff, but decided not to due to the photographer being with him, so he decided not to and just hid in the bushes. Some say he's the Grim Reaper because of how the Grim Reaper wears a black hood over it and that his skin is pale. Some say that he went to the Grand Canyon to commit suicide, but then saw that people were around, so he decided to hide in the bush until the two men left. Now, what support these three main theories and why the black hooded man would be hiding there in the bushes? Well, let's start with the first theory, that he would have pushed off the man off the cliff, because of how this guy could have a foolish, sinister personality and would most likely push the man off the cliff, considering he would have thought that no one was around the man. Even people to this day have a foolish personality and would be foolish and threatening enough to push people off high surfaces. Also, he does have a black hood on him, which could reveal that he would do threatening things to people and would try and hide his identity with his black hood. The second believed theory is that he could be the Grim Reaper. He may not be a normal person at all, which would lead to that he is the Grim Reaper. Besides, like the theory of the guy having a threatening or foolish personality, the Grim Reaper pretty much does threat people in terms of his personality, so this could make sense that the guy could be the Grim Reaper and would have the same reasoning of wanting to push the man off the cliff. But this theory can't be fully proven, because if this is the Grim Reaper, then he would have pushed the man off the cliff one way or another, because of how the Grim Reaper, once again, has a threatening personality. The final theory to this unexplained photo is that he would be there to commit suicide. Now, in my opinion, this got to be the most believed theory because of how there's a cliff on the Grand Canyon in which he could commit suicide there at any time. Now, you may ask reasons on why he would commit suicide. Well, a few reasons I could list is that he may have a terrible childhood and that he would have hated his life, so he decided that the best way for him to commit suicide was to jump off the Grand Canyon cliff. Either that, or considering how his skin is so pale, he could have been an albino child, because of how people with very white skin could be albino, and this could have been a good point. The main questions to this black hooded man is, who is he and why was he there in the first place? All these questions are still yet unsolved, and yet we will never know probably for sure who was that guy in the black hood. The second photo I want to cover is a photo on Reddit called the cabin Stalker, in which the story starts like this. Me and my family went on a trip to the cabin during the winter. While we were there at the cabin, the rest of the family decided it was a good idea to go on a walk. I didn't join them, and I just stayed at the cabin. I took a photo to show my girlfriend on where I was staying, but while I was going through the photos, I saw a strange figure in the photo, and I didn't even know what was that figure. I showed it to my family, and once my family saw the photo with the strange figure, we had no clue what was that strange figure, so we decided that we would show the photo to the lady who owns the cabin. According to her, she said that the figure looked like her husband that passed away a few years ago, and that every winter her husband would go rabbit hunting and would come back to the cabin with a rifle, but had no clue why he was in this photo. That is the story. Now, the main question to this photo is why is the dead husband in this photo if he died years ago before the photo was taken? Now, from my guess, the man could have been a ghost, but from the guy's perspective in the story, he did not believe in ghosts. Other theories that have been said is that there was a guy that was going to shoot down the cabin, but then saw that the cabin was occupied, so he decided to back off and leave. And if that's not scary enough, once the family came back, they saw footprints from the front of leading all the way to the spot where the man was standing. The photo has been put through analysis and has not been manipulated, meaning that this photo has not been edited after the photo was taken. From this day forward, this photo is still yet remain a mystery and is yet not said on who was the figure and why he was carrying a weapon, and whose footprints were outside? All these questions are sadly yet still unexplained. Now that is the first episode of Thunder Explains. If you enjoyed this episode, then please comment on what other unexplained photos would you want me to explain through in the next few episodes. I'll be pre-recording these episodes every once in a while, so make sure you get your suggestions in. But as of right now, pretty much suggest any unexplained photo you would want me to explain through and try to explain to the best of my ability. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode of Thunder Explains.